Four men who were collecting Corona bottles on their tabletop were openly staring at me, not saying anything, just staring and staring, as if I might suddenly pupate or transform in some other abrupt and fascinating way. Whenever it happened, they didn't want to miss it. I looked everywhere except at them, mostly at my hands on the table. On the menu, when it finally arrived, I was not able to find any of the dishes you would expect at a Mexican restaurant in the U.S. What they did have were breaded shrimp, which were expensive, pollo diablo, which I wasn't trying again, several items I couldn't translate even remotely, and tortas, or sandwiches. I decided a chicken sandwich couldn't be that bad, and I ordered two along with an orange soda. Seeing mayonnaise on the sandwiches. It took some back and forth with the waitress to hit on the Spanish word for mayonnaise, but we finally narrowed it down, and she promised it wouldn't be on my sandwiches. Three more guys came in and sat on the other side, near the plaza under construction, and they also seemed to come over just to stare at me. They didn't order beer even, and the waitress ignored them. So I stared out between these two groups of men to the work that was being done in the plaza. The crew looked like it was going to work all night. They had an enormous portable light set with a generator, and they had a jackhammer now for undoing their work. Only hand tools, though, for putting down new construction. The sound from all of it, the jackhammer and the 20 or so guys whacking the hell out of dirt, cement, and brick, was what you'd imagine. But it was no competition for the Cantina music. Is this bar called Cantina?
Yeah.
There you go. You get a prize for mentioning the word. The Cantina music blaring out of every palapa, including the one I was in. The sandwiches finally arrived, wrapped in aluminum foil. I had meant to eat in, but they had assumed I would want my food to go, which is fine with me. I paid my $1.50 for two sandwiches and an orange soda and a vamonos. On the beach, as I was launching my dinghy, I was hailed in a loud, drunken voice by a young guy who spoke passable English. "I am Santiago," he said. "I can help you. I help Mike and other guys on your boat. I do many things for them. Do you want to help you?" And this guy I actually ran into last fall or the fall before when I went down for Outside Magazine, did a story on a sailor from here in the Bay Area who was killed down in the same port. And it was great to see him. I think he's the one who was actually plotting against me all along and stole my engines, but it felt like old home week to see him again. It was really nice. He's actually a really nice guy. It was great. I was curious. I wanted to know what Mike and the others had done before they abandoned my boat here with a destroyed engine. And a translator wouldn't be a bad idea either. On the other hand, he was drunk and full of exaggeration, his hand over his heart to show the depth of the help he was offering, etc. And his friends, all sloshing aimlessly through the shallow water with beers in their hands, were not inspiring great trust. "Can we talk in the morning?" I asked, when we were at the plaza at 8 or 9. "I beat him, my friend," he said, and tapped me on the chest, lurched to the side and steadied himself. "Santiago will take care of you, my friend." Not the most reassuring words, really, and the whole thing seemed like a scene from a bad movie. But if he showed up sober in the morning, maybe he could be helpful. I rowed out to the boat and ramped my sandwiches, scraped off the mayonnaise, threw out the lettuce and tomatoes since I couldn't be trusted, and after dinner was over, went to bed. In the morning, I rowed ashore in the dinghy, returned to the Palapa, where the same men were still drinking, and ordered huevos rancheros. It wasn't on the menu, but they seemed to know what it was. I was taking a risk eating eggs in this place, but the risk seemed small compared to everything else. The construction crew was still going, and though I assumed the guys were in shifts, the construction crew was still going, though I assumed the guys were in shifts. Lots of them were rubbing bricks with bricks also at 5:30 a.m. and sweeping sand over the new sidewalk, then sweeping it off. Another way of aging the plaza, I suppose. It seemed the work could go on forever. The huevos rancheros were 2 eggs, they were easy, with the signature red drool shared by the chicken knuckles. I asked for corn tortillas, received flour tortillas, and went to work. Not bad. I made a mental note and now had 2 dishes I could order. Santiago arrived just as I was finishing up. This was an encouraging sign since it was early. Then I realized someone must have seen me and awakened him under orders, which was a little scary. He had a full shock of hair, a bit longer than the local style. He had no mustache, unlike almost everyone else, and an earnest face. After our hellos, I tried to find out a little about him. He made it clear he was Guatemalan, not Mexican. People here, mostly Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, know many Mexican. People crossed the border and came here for better jobs, I asked? See, better jobs here, he said. I meant it as a joke. How much does a waitress make here at this palapa? Santiago considered for a moment, maybe 200 pesos a month. That meant $25 a month. I was stunned. I had expected it to be low, but not that low. I realized that the $1 or so I was paying for breakfast, which it seemed low, was probably an inflated price. Do you have a job, I asked him? No, he said, not every day, but I work as a translator. I help people on yachts for their papers. What did Mike and Elizabeth and my other crew do during their time here? Santiago laughed. They drink a lot of cerveza. Mike and his friend both fuck local girls. None of them do any work. They talk about you. They say how you don't give any money, how your boat is no good, how you can go fuck yourself. Well, that's nice, I said. I guess I should have expected that. You seem all right to me, Santiago said. Thanks.